Okay, according to Zoom, we're live. YouTube, there we go. We're live on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Karuna. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila. This will not be seen later on New Light Streaming Love, as I don't have enough room for that recording those lives anymore on my laptop in order to upload them over. So that is why I've been saying it. I highly recommend to be subscribed in both places. Let me make sure I put that in here to subscribe. So to New Light Streaming Love. Well, if my fat fingers will get out of the way, or cooperate, I should say. Today is Saturday, June the 28th, 2025. And the reason I'm telling you to subscribe in both places is that I will be going live in both places at differing times. And at some point, I would love to be able to stream to both channels at the same time. However, at this juncture, Zoom does not offer that. Only StreamYard does. And there's just no way I can do both at this moment. So I'm stuck with Zoom. So at any rate, if you happened to catch it, it was my great pleasure to have Jason Gray join me last night for a live. And he actually chose the live, by the way, because I always give my guests the choice to do a recording that they can then back out of if they choose, or to do it live. And he chose live. So I didn't even have enough chance to tell anybody that we were going to do that, go live. I usually like to let folks know that I'm going to do. Okay. Ooh, the singer of courage jumped right out. Ooh, that's very interesting regarding. Wow, there's a whole bunch coming through for that. You see, there's a difference between going into being frightened, going into fear, and allowing that to stop you, and allowing courage to take the front seat. So, wow, that's very interesting. Perhaps that's what some of that was about last night. Was Jason confronting something that he maybe wasn't quite, and if he had recorded, maybe he might have backed out of it. I don't know. That's a question I'll have to ask him. Oh my goodness, we had this card the last time I did a live and it just popped out again. I'll be darned. It's 44, which, is a master number anytime numbers are doubled, apparently. I really don't know the gist of all of that, but apparently fours are all about foundation for me. I don't know, the very fact that it's saying trust the guidance of your North Star. And that's actually what I started doing when I just started on this quest of, getting to the truth of who I am and why I'm here and what is all of this about, I promised to trust that larger portion of myself. Card number 26, Al Uza, Star of Venus, from the Rumi Oracle today. So anyway, wow, can I just say wow, wow, wow? Jason apparently felt nudged to share our live conversation in the Ancient Order of Hermetics group. And that video, just overnight now, has almost 500 views. So you guys were very interested to meet Jason. And I'm ever so grateful to Jason for that. It feels very exciting. Surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Which, you know what? I totally agree with that, because as I've said many, many times, this is not a job for me. I'm not trying to make this into a career, for God's sakes. And I didn't start this, nor will I continue this for any other reason that I am enjoying it, and I have found great joy in these conversations. And my consciousness expands from having conversations just like what I had with Jason last night. And I know that you guys, especially those of you who are new to me, new to the channel, you're not aware of this, but my first channel here on YouTube was called Conscious Conversation Central. And at the time that YouTube saw fit to take it down, I had over 2,000 subscribers and almost 2,000 conversations. With all different kinds of folks that would come and have conversations. Most of them were between myself and my two friends, Lisa Flamino Rush, and another friend of ours, BZ Rieger. Now, we've kind of lost touch with BZ. She's gone on to other things and doesn't really keep in contact with us anymore. And Lisa she's been moving through some very interesting health issues of late. However, I just spoke to her not 5 minutes ago, and she is just about ready to begin our conversations again. So I suspect that there will be many, many, many more conversations, hopefully some with Jason, but also with others, between myself and Lisa, between myself and maybe some of you folks who are open and willing to have conversations regarding consciousness, thoughts, feelings, ideas. The biggest thing for me is being open to hearing other concepts. I'm not interested in having conversations with people who have very specific beliefs and want to come teach me something. Those are the kind of folks I personally tend to run. I don't know about you, but but I am open to hearing things. Land, mountain, earth is from what the card we got from the Alchemy Elementals. Okay, so I think this is our reading for today. Wow. I love this, that we got surrendered to effortlessness, because the truth of the matter is that is something I no longer do. If it's difficult, like, okay, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Jonathan Skinner, on Monday. For whatever the reason, I've tried 3 different times to upload our conversation to share with you all, and it won't upload. I don't know why. I have a feeling that something must have happened to corrupt that video in some sort of way. But in truth, if it's too hard to do, and if it produces any kind of frustration within me or the other being, whoever it is that's experiencing that, then it could be that it's just not the right time, not the right vibe, whatever. And I, again, have decided that I am going to trust the larger portion of me, which includes the universe, in all things moving forward in my life. Ain't nobody got time for for all that other kind of stuff. At least I sure don't. Let's just put it that way. The Singer of Courage wants to be the first one actually to be read. This is card number 8, and the number 8 for me is the upward facing infinity symbol, which in many ways is the correct way for me, because what it shows me is going up here for information, pulling it down into the physical, and moving back again. And it's a little bit, may sound a little confusing the way I'm trying to describe it, but that's what it looks like, what I keep being shown for myself. It also is a number for me, not just of manifestation, but of materialization, which in many ways, at this juncture, and I could be wrong about this, but I feel as though our thoughts are the beginning of bringing things into the physical, because everything starts out as a thought, like Jason was saying last night, right? And what we think about, we bring about. I've had some pretty powerful proof of that in my life. Trust me, if you heard some of the stories. So to me, it's not just manifestation, but materialization. And the Singer of Courage, the key words here are bravery, sublimation of fear, moral strength. Someone once said that courage is not the absence of fear, but that which enables us to experience fear and not be stopped by it. And I've said that many times. There's a difference of being startled or being frightened and moving over into full blown fear. And I've had an experience with that after having a conversation with my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, moving over into fear when when their whole goal is to put you there, is actually giving whoever is trying to put you there, giving them permission. It is it's consent. I am giving you my consent to put me into fear. Rather than, so it's not an absence of fear. I love the way this is put here. So, not the absence of fear, but that which enables us to experience fear and not be stopped by it. It is also what enables us to do what we believe to be right, even when there is pressure from others around us to do otherwise. It is what enables us to go ahead into the unknown or the perilous where there are no guarantees of safety or security. And that's part of, for me, what I see as part of the issue of the human condition. We have been so programmed and conditioned to be afraid of things that we would rather the devil we know than the devil we don't. And I I no longer subscribe to that at all. That devil we know, that's when what I'm saying about putting us into fear becomes consent, right? So in our lives, we are often even constantly confronted with a new world, a new way of being in the world, a new way of seeing and of being seen. Ordinary living takes courage, and to rise above the ordinary into the extraordinary takes even more courage. As being one of the keys to courage is to consider the fear and find a way to let the energy of the fear itself power the action. That is true courage. Often people think that of courage as being part of high heroism. It is, but it is also has its quiet, hidden side as well. And that may require greater courage because we cannot expect, oh, for heaven's sakes. I bet it's a little easier to hear me now, isn't it? I keep forgetting I keep forgetting to pull this damn thing over. Oh, I hope that I apologize. This is not a professional gig over here. I really do not know what I'm doing most of the time. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to start that paragraph over. Often people think of courage as being part of high heroism. It is, but it is also has its quiet, hidden side as well. And that may require greater courage because we cannot expect the rewards of praise and approval for it. For example, no courage is needed to be unhappy and self-pitying. We do not need to be self-disciplined or wise for that. However, to open our hearts to the risks and vulnerabilities of joy and trust requires all of those things, especially courage. And that is where the rewards come in, if you ask me. Within each of us, there is the terrified inner mouse, and there is the brave inner hero as well. Either part of us can take over from the other. We get to choose which is in charge. And that is the truth of that. So anybody who says, oh, I can't do that. Well, yes, you could if you choose to. It is, after all, your choice. The mouse is a magician with only one trick. It can cast an illusion that it is as big as an elephant. Then fear nearly overwhelms us, but we will still have a choice. Learning to live with and manage the reactive animal within involves transforming emotions like rage and fear into courage through self-discipline and the help of the singer of courage. Most people have decided by the age of 3 or 4 what they must do in order to survive. Oh, wow. Okay, I was just shown something right before this live. I'm convinced that the children that are entering this realm at this time will not be so easily programmable. That doesn't mean they can't be. But if the parents of said children don't wake up to the truth of who they are, there will be a really hard road to go for all concerned in that arena, in my view. Wow. That's huge for me on a bunch of different levels because of what was just shown and conversations that have been swirling around me so far this weekend and that are still to come. I'm going to read that again. Wow. Most people have decided by the age of 3 or 4 what they must do in order to survive. From this decision, belief about how the world is, most of our fears and self limitations grow. And a lot of that is, like I said, it depends on how the programming and conditioning, because we start being programmed and conditioned from the time we're born. Don't, and sometimes even before, in utero. Have we the courage to discover and break those limiting beliefs, awaken to greater possibilities, and go for our objectives? We need to transcend our fears and accept the gift of courage. And honestly, I realize for myself that a lot of what I've been doing over the last 8 years since I put myself on this quest of finding out exactly who and what I am, who and what humanity on the whole is, that it boils down to all the programming and conditioning and what happens to us with said programming and conditioning. Because the installation of trauma happens from programming and conditioning, because it begins at birth and there's really no understanding from that portion or that perspective as to just what the hell is going on here, because we came through that veil of forgetting and then we're told things that make absolutely no sense because we came here through that veil, yes, but especially the ones that are coming in now, they have more front and center than we did. That's for damn sure, in my view. Mama Boom Bam, I understand. Been saying this for years. Yes, ma'am. And the truth of the matter is, the harder we push on those little ones, the worse the trauma is. I know that's what I've been really seeing for myself, is the resolution of trauma is what I've been after. Getting to the bottom of it and releasing it and realizing, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to carry this around. It really wasn't mine to begin with. It was installed there with that programming and conditioning. And it becomes repetitious because of the fact that it started at birth. And so now, though, because I am aware of that in my psyche, I at least see it the moment and I recognize it. Oh, wait a minute, that's a program. And then I can begin releasing it. We forgive ourselves because we were programmed to agree. Well, right. And so, yes, ma'am, forgiving ourselves for all of that is key. You are so right. Wow. I cannot unsee this. Like I said, not just moments before this live, my housemate came in and gave me some news, some information that sort of overwhelmed me for a moment, and that has to do with a little tiny being that I haven't actually even met yet, that I could feel. I've been able to feel this child from the moment I was made aware of her. And I know that she is here to show us the way. I'm telling you, there's going to be many, many more children like that. And it would behoove us all to let these children lead us, because they do know. We tend to think that because they're babies, they don't know anything. We couldn't be further from the truth. They actually know way more than we do. All they really need is to be shown how the body operates. And then we need to step back and let them handle us, because in truth, that's what's gone on here. In my view, your individual mileage is absolutely going to vary, but from my unique perspective and what I've been through in my life and what I've witnessed and all the puzzle pieces I've collected, that's where I'm at in this moment of now. And I feel as though I will be shown if I'm incorrect, because so far, that is what happens when you are open and you hold your beliefs in an open hand instead of closing it up like this and making those beliefs so rock solid you can't let them go. If I know if I keep it open, I will be shown, because I've asked my larger self to show me the truth of things. I'm open to seeing it. I'm open to hear what anybody else has to say. And I'll even allow it to wash over me and sit with it for a while. Even if I think I don't agree immediately, I will still sit with it for a while. Let children discover who they are. Just protect them from self-harm. Don't program them. Yes, ma'am. Hopefully that is what we're going to get to right quick here. And I'm really hoping that that is what we're going to get to. As a grandparent, I can tell you, I didn't wake up in time. I programmed the crap out of my kid. I only had the one, but oh my gosh, I've been around him. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I know where that program came from. Oh, Jesus. That is so me. I see my handiwork where that kid is concerned. And he thinks I did an excellent job parenting him. I cringe at the thought of that, boy, I'm telling you. So, but that's okay, because he'll find his way. He chose me for a reason. And I really do feel like that's the way it is. Our children choose us for reasons that none of us are ever really probably going to be real clear about. But that's my thought about it. Okay, so what we got here on the earth, the alchemy elementals, is land, mountain, earth, and that's on page 82. '82. 182. Okay, I love this deck. It is such a beautiful deck. Earth, your path has been fruitful and you have achieved success and amassed many blessings. But who is this success serving? Your vision, your light, and your gifts were bestowed upon you in order for you to serve others, not just yourself. Take some time to drop in and examine whom you are really serving. And once you figure that out, then ask yourself how you can amplify that service on behalf of others and how many others your gifts can serve. Sure, you can achieve some success and some happiness when you serve yourself. But when you align your path to be in service to the whole world, well, love, that's when your life gets giant. Well, the truth of the matter is, for me, this channel has always been for my growth. I've never made any secret of that. This is all about me finding me. It always has been. It always will be. That's the bottom line. Now, what I have come to find out after all these years of doing this is that there are many of you have shared with me that you learn right along with me. And so I look at that as a win-win situation. And I feel like that's what this card is talking about, right? Ooh, and in many ways, what I said about this, about the number 8, can actually be echoed here, right? I feel like the 8 is the upward facing infinity symbol, in that I go up into the larger part of me, listen to myself, and bring that back down into the physical, right? And I don't know, there's something very interesting about these two cards coming out together. Okay, I do know that it does take a bit of courage to just be yourself out in public. A lot of people don't do that, right? But I've never been able to do anything other than that, to be honest with you. I no longer allow myself to run and hide from myself. I did that and I ended up at 490 pounds. So there'll be none of that moving forward. Wow. I just really can't help but feel like these cards sort of echo each other in a very real way. Now, this card from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle, we had just the very last time I did a live reading. So the fact that it came out again is very interesting to me. It's card number 44, Eyes on the Prize. Trust the guidance of your North Star, which honestly, that is the best advice I could give anybody. Only you are the expert on you. You're the only one that has been in you the whole time you've been on the planet. No one has the right. No one has had all the experiences that you've had except for you. We, again, from the time we're little, and I know that Mama Boom Bam is going to agree with this. From the time we are teeny tiny little ones, we are taught not to trust ourselves. No, you're not big enough to do that. No, that's not real. No, that's not true. No, you can't do that. And that goes towards, okay, all right, I won't do that. Apparently that's not right. And then instead of allowing us to make those choices, experience that and say, oh, okay, hold on. That wasn't for me, so I'll not do that next time. And trust oneself. I'm telling you, for me, it starts right there. And so, of course, none of us trust ourselves. Of course, we look to the outside for every damn thing, because that one over there has had the education and they know better. Ask me why I don't agree with that, including doctors. And I'm happy to have a conversation with you about that after being misdiagnosed and laying on my deathbed for 10 years. So, no, nobody knows you better than you, and nobody is going to help you better than you can help yourself. If you just get in there and work with yourself, that's the big thing. Ask oneself questions, right? The message of this card is as you journey back home with your reward in tow, you realize this is more than a footpath. It's a weave between who you used to be, who you are becoming. You don't have to know exactly how this process will unfold from here on out. Your only job is to keep your eyes on the prize and follow your North Star. At this moment, your North Star is hanging directly over the place where you started on this journey. Consider George Bailey in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Once he completes his life review and has the epiphany that everyone would not be better off without him, he runs back to Bedford Falls and is home in time to hug and kiss his family and hang the Christmas star on the tree. He is in the same place as he started, but is changed and willing to participate in life from a whole new perspective. And I personally feel like we have the capability of choosing an entirely different perspective. It's just a matter of choice and allowing ourselves to listen to ourselves, ask those questions. I used to be the first one that would say, how do you do that? Well, I wouldn't shut up long enough to ask myself any questions. And then not even long enough to hear the answer. But trust me, the answer will come. And I tested it out. I believe you me. I'm a bit of a skeptic, so I had to test it out. There's a dream symbol that goes along with this card. Dreams of a star symbolize you are being guided from on high. This dream is a message that things are looking up for you. In order to become the star of your own life, it's important to remember Einstein's words. You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. In other words, look up, seek a higher point of view, and let your higher guidance system lead the way. There's a mantra associated with this card. I am connected with the celestial body of the universe. I have permission to shine at maximum wattage. And the truth is, like I said, for me, I had to get in the habit of asking myself questions, and then all of a sudden, it's almost like second nature now. But it takes practice, because I never did even allow myself to consider that I had any answers. So this is card number 26. Numerologically, that 2 is an 8, which is very interesting because 4 plus 4 is also 8. This one was on page 82, but the number on the card is 64, which is a 1 numerologically. The I am. Very interesting how this is all going down today for me. Hello, Angela. Oh, she took her message back. Okay, so this is Al-Uza, star of Venus from the Rumi Oracle. I am the pure light, my son. I am not a handful of worthless dust. I am not just an empty shell. I am a regal pearl formed in this world. Close your eyes to see and become aware of me. Perceive me with eyes that see the unseen. Come into the mystery to find me. I am a carefree visitor here for you. Rumi. My beautiful one, born of pure radiance, you have love in your heart and a passion for play that cannot be dulled by bleakness, boredom, or fear. Your soul is sensual and dances with life with utter abandonment and devotion. Though the ways of this world seem strange to you at times, you eventually declare it to be nothing but strange beauty and expand your heart, resisting nothing, to allow all to be bathed in the radiance of your being. You are here to share the light of another world, a blessed world of consciousness pure and divinity so absolute that it transcends duality and instead brings all into the oneness of the greatest love. Boy, I think that's a true statement for each one of us if we just allow ourselves to believe that. We've been told for so long that we are less than, that we actually buy into that. I'm sorry, this is really making me very emotional. It could be that one of you are very, very emotional all of a sudden. The star of Venus is the great androgyny, neither solely masculine nor feminine, but an integration of both. The power it bestows is mighty and, oh wow, this really is going to make me cry, and based utterly in love. When this star seeks us out, multiple blessings are bestowed, and our spiritual growth can be accelerated in ways that may be quite dazzling and surprising to our more limited mindset and belief systems. With great blessings, great growth is possible. However, the blessings don't do the growth for us, making it magically happen. That's true. You know, Jason alluded to that last night in our conversation, didn't he? About the bypassing. There's a lot of bypassing going on in the spiritual community. There has been for as long as I started looking into it myself. I've seen it. Thinking that someone outside of us has the way, when in fact, the only way is to delve deeply into self. In my view, again, your individual mileage absolutely will vary. And it's supposed to, by the way. They give us the oomph we need, the power and the opportunities and assistance we need, yet it is still we who take the journey. The great spiritual journey for old souls at this time in Earth's history is the journey from duality to oneness. Now, there's a school of thought about that, and I have a very specific take on exactly what's being said here. Many are signing up for that wild, loving adventure. This oracle has come to you as a reminder that you, too, have been granted a ticket for that journey. This journey of oneness is not about denying duality. No, that's right, it's not. But about experiencing it as an expression of one love. Yes, I would agree with that. It is about no longer being enslaved by it. That's a very real thing in my view. It is about avoiding what is not wanted in order to pursue what is wanted. It is about embracing the all of finding order. No, wait a minute. And finding the freedom and joy originally sought, but now through a path that takes you into joy and freedom existing within. And for me, that meant resolving things that were triggering me, which were part of those programmed conditions, and getting to the bottom of them and allowing them to dissolve and to be free of them, because they were enslaving me in ways that I didn't even realize I was being enslaved. And there was nobody holding those chains. Only me, only the beliefs that I was holding, which are quite limiting in nature. To take the great transformation from man or woman into cosmic androgyny does not require that we lose our sense of femininity or masculinity. Rather, they become so superior in development that they cease to be distinguished from each other. Our masculine clarity, with its discernment, practicality, and application, becomes so tender, loving, compassionate, and tempered with grace that the feminine is integrated with it. Our feminine nurturance, dedication, and connection to life becomes so fierce that discernment and wise action naturally prevail. With this great, and this is, in my view, a much deeper conversation as to what the whole gender topic is on the world stage and why it's being manipulated in the way that it is. In my view, again, a very specific take on this very topic, which is a future topic for conscious conversation, I hope. It's just whether or not I can find folks that are willing to have that conversation without losing their damn minds, to be honest with you. Our feminine nurturance, dedication, and connection to life becomes so fierce that discernment and wise action naturally prevail. With this great androgynous integration of the masculine and feminine into oneness, men and women of this beautiful earth become capable of a new consciousness, which is what I feel like that's the oneness that is being spoken on here. Oh, oh, Angela, I'm so glad you found it. Yes, I woke up to find that Jason had shared our video in the Ancient Order of Hermetics group. I'm ever so grateful. That was very sweet. Lady Hawk, you're not late ever, never late. Always here when you feel moved to be here. And Zurich Petu, I sure hope. Yes, this card is from my Rumi Oracle by Elena or Alana. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, Fairchild. And the artist is Rasuli. It's one of my more favorite decks. As far as I know, the original Book of Hermetics didn't survive. Oh, no, that's true. No, this is an oracle. I like to do readings every now and again, and I do them for myself, but I'm grateful that you guys are here. I love that you feel to come and be here. It is of one based in love, of service to life, of letting go of judgment, stereotypes, and limited belief systems, and of opening up to compassion for all life. As the consciousness is anchored, spiritual growth becomes rapid. And I do feel like we're beginning to see that in these moments of now, so much more so than when I first started on my journey just 8 years ago. I mean, in some ways, yes, I've been on this journey all my life, but in earnest, where I was honestly upfront conscious here, moving towards that, actively seeking my larger self and actively asking my larger self to be more front and center, has only been 8 years. And I've seen a huge shift in human consciousness overall on the planet myself. So I feel that that's true. This is not necessarily without some bumps and bruises. Very true. Letting go of old notions of what it is to be a man or a woman, to be masculine or feminine, letting go of fear of women or a woman to be masculine or feminine, or for men of emasculation or victimization. Letting go of wounding are all great steps forward. For me, that was the only way forward, was to be able to start letting some of that go. They promise liberation, empowerment, and compassion, as well as peace and happiness. Yet, they are not easy steps to take. Great resistance can be evoked within you as an individual and also within the culture around you, which might find your notion of personal spiritual empowerment confronting and challenging to their culture of fear-based enslavement of the soul. And can I just tell you how true that is? Because when I started on this journey, I was called crazy by loved ones, by any number of people that might have accidentally tuned in to my video channel that didn't understand at all what I was doing. But that's okay. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for me. And at 63 years old, I can sit here right now and promise you that this is the happiest and most at peace I've been ever in my life, bar no time. Oh, the 32nd gate. I know who that is. I'm so glad you could join us too, sweetie heart. Garden Goddess, first time in chat and feel the depth of. Oh, thank you for that, sweetie heart. I think you are capable of speaking of yourself. Yes, and only for myself, to be honest with you. That's all I can claim. I is for me. That's why I always absolutely say your individual mileage absolutely will vary. It's not that it may, it absolutely will vary. And part of the reason for that is that we are absolutely unique, each and every one of us. You see, the way I look at things is that we are indeed all one. We are the all outside of these vessels. But inside this vessel, that which calls itself Sheila has had a unique experience and a window onto this realm. I don't know what else to call it, that no one else has had the privilege of being there 100% of the time. I'm the only one. You're the only one that's been there for you 100% of the time. My friend BZ used to say that you are the only expert for you. bar none. That goes across the board for all of us. And so, from your own personal perspective, no matter what anybody else wants to tell you, your point of perspective is the only one that actually matters. What you think and what you believe about you is the only thing that actually matters. It matters in a very real sense, too, in my view. So, back to the card here. Letting go of wounding are all great steps forward. They promise liberation, empowerment, and compassion, as well as peace and happiness. Yet they are not easy steps to take. Great resistance can be evoked within you as an individual and also within the culture around you, which might find your notion of personal spiritual empowerment confronting and challenging to their culture of fear-based enslavement of the soul. They will be right about it being confronting, but mistaken in assuming that confrontation is something best resisted. Honestly, I couldn't agree more with that statement. So, then what to do? Al-Uza, the ancient shining one, also known as the star of Venus, which happens to be my personal ruling planet, holds much power and strength. Even a small blessing of her light is more powerful than the fear of thousands, if not millions, of people. She is known as a worthy ally in battle of any kind, even spiritual battle. You must, however, stay aligned with her way, which is not to fight fear with fear, hate with hate, or anger with anger. Does this mean you should not feel fear, hate, or anger? Of course not. Venus denies no experience. So let yourself feel whatever it is you feel. The guidance is not to stop being human. Take the next step into the divine human, into allowing the star blessing to nestle in your heart so you can shift as you feel the feelings, holding them with compassion, then choosing your own truths that resonate at a far more refined vibration. The rebellious passion of the star of Venus is that she seeks out whomever is ready to know more fully the truth of divine oneness. Whether the culture around them can acknowledge one of their own, becoming more enlightened as a blessing or not, it is a divine gift nonetheless. Because most light workers, in my view, have this unfortunately skewed idea that they are here to help awaken the planet or to fix people. When in fact, the way I see it, we're here to fix ourselves. Once I got myself in order, I carry that solution around in my field. And you feel it. There's 8 of you in here. You can feel when you are around someone who has done the work. And I'm telling you, I've had a lot of experience with this over the last few years. We do a book study that I'm getting ready to start again. And if you're interested in joining that, you need to send me an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Say book study. It's not like anything else you've ever been a part of. We read the book together. And what I've noticed is I have access to your field, you have access to mine. I learn things quicker when I'm with people who are open and have that whole idea of being open. It's like nothing else. And that is the real way to move through things. I got to fix me. I can't fix you. That's like me trying to comb the mirror. That ain't how any of this works. I fix me, then you have access to it to fix you. It also gives you permission to fix you. That's why I get real. I'm not very popular in the light worker circles for that very reason. Because there's an awful lot of light workers that have not fixed themselves and they're out here trying to fix other people. What the hell is that about? I mean, honestly, come on, man. At any rate, that's how Sheila feels about that. Nobody asked, but I thought I'd tell you anyway. So that's how I feel about that. Let's see, where was I? How whether the culture around them can acknowledge one of their own becoming more enlightened as a blessing or not, it is a divine gift nonetheless and gives access to everybody else. How liberating it shall feel to be truly empowered to live life as you feel is truthful and to feel completely empowered to allow others to do the same with joy in your heart. And that's where I feel like I am. I got no stake in your game, no stake whatsoever. And you have no stake in mine. But together we might be able to accomplish something on our own. I don't know if that made any sense or not, but it did to me. You understand that everyone is walking an unfolding path and that we don't have to understand or justify the path of another to feel peace in our own hearts. Now, that took some doing, trust me. And I have the 30-second gate there to thank for part of that. That 30-second gate is my collaborative partner over on New Light Streaming Love, which if you're not subscribed over there, I would encourage you to subscribe over there as well, because I do lives over there that I don't do over here. I do stuff on both channels. All of Jason's work is being uploaded to both channels as well. So do subscribe, because the next time I go live with Jason, it's going to be on New Light Streaming Love. So you might want to make sure that you're subscribed over there too. If you are stumbling with judgment within yourself, do not fear. The blessing of Venus is coming to you to help you surrender it, to help you find your way through so that you can be free now. Your guidance then is to trust your path, trust your evolution, even in the face of those around you reacting to it, possibly in fear or discomfort. Trust in the paths of others too, for in truth, there is one path and we are all on it. And that's a true statement too. Let me just say this. When I first started this, Jason's asking me, how do I think it went? He doesn't know I'm live right now. When I first started my journey, my grown son, again, thought I was crazy and clearly running from himself. I stopped trying to fix him. I was at first trying to fix him because I thought I knew something. All I'm doing is fixing me. And I go around him when he is ready for me, only when he's ready for me, because my field sort of rubs him the wrong way. Because when you are around somebody who is running from themselves and you're not running from yourself anymore, you just being around them can set them off. You don't got to open your mouth. You don't got to say nothing. I carry a field of transparency because I decided I wanted to see all of me. I wanted that larger portion of me to come in here. And the only way I could do that was to make room for it. And the only way I could do that was to let some of this other crap that didn't make no kind of sense go. And the only way I could do that was to resolve it. Again, thanks to the 32nd gate and my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush. These two ladies helped me every time point me back into me. Ask yourself, what's that about, Sheila? And you know what? I started hearing myself finally. And all of us, I now know with all of me that even things that I would label as a mistake, my first two husbands, I used to say that, oh my God, I jumped from the frying pan into the fire from the first one to the second one. But I now also see where every single thing I did had to go down just the way it did. My path had to happen exactly the way it happened because of what I'm experiencing now. We have to, and I kept getting that. I kept being told, my larger self kept saying, just relax into you. We don't make mistakes. No matter what we think, we have to label it in the moment that it happens. If you live long enough, which I'm 63, so I've lived long enough to see that some of those things I labeled as horrific happenings were actually the best thing that ever happened to me. And I promise you, you will too. And we have to trust each other as well, that you know what is best for you. Even when you think you don't, you do. Your guidance then is to trust your path, trust your evolution, even in the face of those around you reacting to it, possibly in fear or discomfort. Trust in the paths of others too. For in truth, there is one path, and we are all on it. You do not have to convince anyone of anything. That is not your job. Your job is to embrace your wisdom, embrace your freedom and empowerment to grow spiritually and live your life accordingly. You are becoming, through bestowal of grace, something more of a goddess and a god, of a human and sacred animal integrated as one. This is sacred alchemy, amplified in the star fires of Venus, who loves you as brother, sister, and honors your soul with her blessing. Shine, beloved, shine bright. I agree with that. Oh my God, what a beautiful reading today. Well, I want to thank you guys all for showing up here. Wow, I missed a lot of your comments. I don't know how I did that. Mama Boom Bam said, navigating the solo soul journey together with other souls. I on theirs. Yes, absolutely. A beautiful facet like a diamond. We reflect a beautiful aspect. Oh, so true, Angela. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys rock so hard. Garden Goddess biofields are real. They hold our memories. Yes, even when we don't know, right? When we think we don't know. There are things I'm keeping from myself, I think, for reasons that I don't know right now, but I'm relaxing into that. Angela said, imagine if all the collective do the shadow work and inward healing, if all walked their path, their unique way. How beautiful. I have been saying that. I echo that so strongly. Yes. Can you just imagine? When each one of us start moving towards that, which brings us joy, in every moment that presents itself to us. Oh, I can't, and it will happen. I feel with all of me that it will take place. Will it take place in my lifetime? I don't know. I'm hoping so. We'll see, huh? But I know that that's the path that I've chosen. And so honestly, it matters not to me how everyone else goes about it at this point, because I'm pulling folks like you guys to me, right? With Jason's help, obviously, because you know, I know that several of you are brand new. I've never seen your names here, and I'm so grateful for your presence. And I'd love to thank you for being here and your presence. Wow. Well, that's it for this one, guys. And what a reading it was. And I'm telling you, you guys rock. I'm in the human design, I'm what's called a projector. And I can feel your energy fields. So thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate it. And everything happens in the now. You know, I've said that. I've said I suspect that the only thing really that separates us at all are these linear physical vessels that we've sequestered this little tiny spark of the all that is inside of in order to experience the creation. That's my suspicion. Got not much I can do to point to prove that, but that's my suspicion. Thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. Let me see, what else did I want to say? Yes. If you're interested in joining my new book club that I'm going to be instituting, and I might even do two if there are enough people that want to do it. The book that I really want to read together is not, I mean, this is supposed to be fiction. I've not read this book. I've seen the movie. And what I know about books and movies are the books are generally much better. And what Lisa tells me, my housemate, she tells me that because she has read the book, that in her estimation, well, and I now look at books completely differently. Fiction is memory, actually. I think that Star Wars is memory. I feel, we think that we're creating it, but what if that is also memory that is being grasped? I don't know. There's something about what I saw in that movie that tells me this is the sort of thing that we are moving towards being able to recognize as we move on this planet. And so there's several of these books. I want to read them in company. And what we do, it's not like we read the book and then we get together to discuss it. No, that's not how my book club works. What we do is we read it together. We take turns, we read it together, and we, as any one of us feel to, we stop and discuss. It is so rich. I've grown in so many ways from doing this over the last few years. We've done several books, several of the books that you'll find on the channel in the playlist. We did the Jeshua channelings that way. We did A Soul's Journey that way. We did the works of Florence Scovel Shinn that way. We just finished the Kabbalion in that group. And so in that group, we're getting ready to do the Carl Jung book, Man and His Symbols. But I also want to start a second group and do the Celestine Prophecy. So if you're interested in doing the Celestine Prophecy, hit me up. Let me know what days of the week are better for you than others? What time of day? Because I'm not tied to anything really. I have a very flexible schedule. So his principle on raising children is spot on. Okay. Oh, you read him 28 years ago? I have my WT. I, I'm not quite sure what you meant, Garden Goddess, but so conscious conversation central at gmail.com is the way to get in touch with me if you're interested in doing that. Put book study in the subject line so I know what you're contacting me about. And I think that's it. That's really all I had. Oh, you met him. Oh, how interesting. I would love to be able to do that. Well, so much I would love to be able to do. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. Mwah. Be well, my friends, until the next time we meet each other.